Thanks, Coach. I appreciate it. Appreciate you having me on. You've done a great job from the outset of the pandemic, um, getting guys on here to speak, and tremendous speakers. Man, that it's big time. You've made me a better coach. I know you've made a lot of football coaches much better. And it's a testament to you, and we can't thank you enough. I know that 100%.
Appreciate that, Coach.
Um, Absolutely. I'm going to get into. Um, I'm not going to get into philosophy. I'm going to get into our run fits as fast as possible, and just kind of talk through our structure, where our eyes are at, specifically with our front and our safeties. But we're going to talk specifically um, odd space, odd space run fits, and two high defense. So again, this could be quarters. It could be cover two, and if you do want to play some cover two, you've got to manipulate the front somehow with movement. You've got to steal a gap somewhere and force the ball to spill to the perimeter. Obviously, if you're going to play some type of cloud force um, in this structure. But we're going to talk specifically about too high and just about our keys. So I'm going to try to be as generic as I can, get through as much as we can, get to film, and then any questions you guys have, shoot to Justin, and I'll do my best to answer it. So for us, okay, I'm going to talk 11 personnel, 10 personnel, a little bit of 20 sniffer, because if we get into heavier, if we see heavier personnel groupings, we're going to get into some different things front wise. We may not stay in the tight front. But for us, just so everybody understands what we're talking, for us, how we're going to call the front, if there's an attached tight end, we're going to call the front to the attached tight end. So here for us, our base front is called king. So this is our king's front. Now we play a lot of tight, which is, the double four eyes, zero front. But as a base, our king's front, our rules is we're going to our rules are we're going to set the front to the tight end. So these three are attached to the front. Okay, the tackle, nose, and what we call our viper, which is like our end. Because when we get to a four down front, our nose and tackle are going to be our interior too. When we get to even spacing. So for us here, it would be a left call. We would say king's left. How we align the front, okay, is dependent upon the back set. So as far as they're going to align to the strength call or away from the strength call, but whether I'm a four or a four eye in king's front is, I'm at school, the bell's ringing, hold on a second, is dependent upon the back set. So if I am the viper, the tackle, and I'm to the back, I'm going to be a four eye, and I'm going to be a B gap player. Both these guys are B gap players, but alignment and eyes are different for us. So if I am to the back, I'm a four eye, and I'm keying the outside shoulder of the guard. So that's my visual key. My attack key, all right, is the tackle. All right. Now, the opposite for four eye, for us in Kings, he's going to align in a four technique away from the back. Okay. He's going to key the tackle. So his visual key and his attack key are the same thing. Okay. Because with the back away, we're anticipating, zone double. All right. Or a down block if they run one back power. Okay. Or any kind of gap scheme to his side. So it gives us, it doesn't give the offensive tackle the angle to block down on. It's like playing a four eye away from the back would. And again, I know there's same side run game. I'm just saying generically, this is what we're going to do it based on the back set. If we're getting a bunch of same side run game, then we can play double fours, we can play double four eyes, etc. For us too, just in base defense, those four eyes are going to play B gap. And I'm going to show you some film of where we don't always play B gap with those guys. We're going to play without movement. We're going to play different techniques with those guys that allow them to play different gaps. So that offensive tackle does, the target on him, targeting our four eyes and understanding that, that they're going to play different gaps makes it difficult without movement. I think if you move those guys a lot, the offensive linemen climb to the second level. People are so well coached anymore up front. When you play people like Coach Harper at Broken Arrow, those guys, they can block all your movement stuff. So to create some confusion or uncertainty in those guys, I think you've got to change gaps by how you play technique, not with movement. And we will move the front. There's no doubt about it. That's a part of our package. But, we want to play different gaps by playing different techniques with those guys. So for us, that's really important. If I'm an apex defender, okay, so moving out to the outside linebacker. So here we're going to set our dog linebacker, which is like star, nickel. He's the outside linebacker that goes to the passing strength, okay? The apex defenders rule, if I'm an apex, my rule as far as a run fit player is I am in the fit if the back is away from me, okay? And I am out of the fit if the back is to me. So if the back is to me, we're going to fit those guys. We're going to fit like single high, okay? We're not going to max fit, meaning we're not going to trigger all these guys, okay, in the run fit, all right? Our fit is going to be based on the back, all right? Now, if we're getting opposite, flip RPOs where they're throwing RPO away from the back, then we'll have to key it based on the quarterback, all right? So we won't know if we're in or out of the fit until it's post snap. Obviously if I have a tight end, so if it's a pro flank over here and I'm the outside linebacker, if we're in base quarters, we're the force player. We're the edge of the defense, okay? So however you play your 9 techniques, okay? He's the force and flat player, all right? We say you're hammer force and you're 1 to 2. You're the buzz player, okay? So if this guy releases, for us, we don't worry about getting hands on him. We're going to buzz out here under 1, all right? We're playing what we call open to a pro flank over here. So we're however you choose to play quarters over here. This guy is what we call slam step footwork, all right? And he's reading the tight end for run pass key. Okay, if he bases out, if he blocks down, we're in the fit, okay? Because over here, all right, we're playing press quarters, all right, to the pro flank side, all right, generically speaking, all right? The safety in the corner to speed are out of the run fit. Again, if you wanted to play cloud, okay, and play 2 trap, all right, now we've got to figure out a way to cancel the C gap, whether it's with an 8 technique, crash 9, 9 jam 7, whatever you want to call that guy. We've got to find a way to force the ball to the perimeter, to the trap corner, and we'll do that at times. We can play a 6 technique with that Will, because he plays a lot of 6 technique in our even spacing. All right, so now let's talk about the inside linebackers. For us, we're going to underkey as a base. We're going to underkey through the lineman to the offset back, all right? So we're going to underkey primarily the guard and tackle to the offset, all right? Now, we don't always do that. Sometimes we'll underkey the guard to our side, okay? But for me personally, we don't read guards primarily. We want to see through linemen, and we want to see the path of the back first, because that's going to tell us our initial steps. Okay. I know some guys are different. Some guy key guards. That's great. Just for us personally, we're going to under key linemen, but our primary key is the running back. All right. So what do I mean by that? So we're going to see the path of the back. Okay. And as we see the path of the back, we're going to see if we get any pulls, okay, along with the flow of the back. Okay. So if we're getting same side run game, or we're getting quarterback, they flash the back across and they run quarterback counter this way, our eyes now, we're going to under key here. If we get no pull, okay, we say we're going to triangle the flow of the back. So we're going to key through these guys to the back. As soon as that back comes across, if we're worried about same side run game, as soon as that, and he doesn't even have to come across, as soon as that back steps into the mesh of the quarterback, okay, we're going to step and our eyes are going to go to the opposite guard and tackle. All right. So any pull back, all right, away from the flow of the back, we can rock back with it. All right. We can one step any pulls back. All right. We should take no more than one step on any like Q counter, same side power, same side counter. We should be able to see through our guard and tackle. Okay. Our eyes are going to transition, all right, to the far guard and tackle. And again, I know there's a million ways that you can key. I know, and I'm talking zone specifically. Obviously, in man, you know, your coverage is your fit. Okay, I'm talking about, you know, zone match, too high, run fits. Okay, so for us, our rules, and we're going to try to rule in we want to eliminate as much gray area as possible. We're going to create rules for our guys. So if we see things that we haven't seen, they can always fall back on their rules to understand whether it's alignments, whether it's where my eyes are at. And in this case, it's, you know, it's what our run fit rules are. So for us, when this guy steps into the mesh, again, our eyes go to the opposite side. We're going to triangle. Okay. We're going to see the guard to back triangle. And even we're seeing a lot of dart, and we see teams that fold the tackles on zone that, you know, we want to see the whole picture. We want to see, you know, the guard and tackle. So as we get flow this way, because I've heard some people call it ball fits, we call it flow fits. Our fits are based on flow, okay, or the ball, okay. We don't fit gaps in odd spacing, okay, too high odd space. All right, we're going to fit off the ball or fit off the flow, okay. So our first step when we get the back stepping into the quarterback and we get mesh, my first step is going to be, I'm going to work to stack. All right. So our rules, some people call it rock back, rock and roll. We say stack, track, fall back. So we get flow, we're going to work to stack on the next adjacent lineman. And for us, we want to hold our depth as much as possible. Okay. When I first when we first went to odd defense, you know, we were always gap fitting when I was a 4-man front. Okay. We were, you know, inside zone, we were spiking gaps. We were running downhill. We wanted to take the double teams off fast. In odd space, now we've gone away from that. We want to hold our depth as much as possible. Okay. Because in talking with guys like, you know, like Dante Barty, Kyle Kogan, some really sharp coaches, talking to them, you know, who's trying to block the linebackers? Well, obviously it's the offensive line. So why would I want to go to where guys are blocking me, right? You know, why would I not want those guys? We want to force double teams here, all right, and force these doubles to come off so these guys have to block us in space instead of running downhill to them so they can block us, you know, immediately. So we want to, for us, we want to hold our depth as much as possible, and you'll see what I'm talking about here on film.
Coach, got a question here for you.
Yes.
It was asked, what's the footwork of the dog in when he's keying run or pass?
Okay, we say pop his feet, and I'll show you on film what I'm talking about. We're going to pop our feet, you know, buzz your feet, however you want to do it. We say pop. So we're going to pop our feet and get our run pass key anytime we're an apex defender. Our inside, so our feet, our inside foot's going to be up. All right, we're going to be toed in, all right, with our outside foot back slightly. Okay, so our hips already open to coverage. And I'll show you on film what that should look like in just a minute. So when I get the mesh inside, we're going to work to stack. Again, we want to hold our depth. I've got film of good examples and bad examples. But we're going to work to stack if the ball takes us there. Now, if we're getting like veer, like Coach White at Edmond Santa Fe, the team we played in the state championship, their zone was really downhill. So in that, we knew when this guy blocked down, okay, probably going to get, inside, and they were really good up front. Coach White's an offensive line guy. And so we were anticipating that 4-eye possibly getting washed. So we knew that the fallback was going to happen fast. So it was going to be step, rock, step back, and fit right off that 4-eye, okay, very quickly. But if it's mid-zone, wide zone, okay, it's a front side zone play. As long as that ball is staying front side, we're going to work to stack, okay? Now, when the ball defines itself, all right, then now we're going to fit where the ball is. So if the ball stays front side, all right, we're going to fit front side. Then we're going to start pressing the line of scrimmage, okay? If the ball works backside and starts rolling off the table backside, then now that's why we want to hold our depth, because if we angle shuffle, work downhill initially, when we fall back, we're already in the line of scrimmage. Our nose and our fours are, they're in our lap. So we have no room to operate. We'd have no room to fall back with the zone. Okay. So as he falls back, some people call it a nest technique. We're going to fall back. And as we fall back, we're going to fit tight off that 4. All right. We want to be able to touch that 4 and build a wall in our run fit with that 4 technique. Okay. They block down on him. He's gonna, fight pressure, stay in the B gap. Okay. Have his eyes in his gap. And then once the ball crosses, then he can work out of his gap, cross face. We can talk about that later. D-line technique. But we're going to stack, track the ball as the ball falls back. Okay. We're going to track it and we're going to fall back tight off that 4 technique. Okay. So it's tight. So if it's downhill veer, okay, dive, then we're going to fall back and fit tight off that 4-eye.
Coach, got a couple questions here.
Yes.
I was asked, you mentioned the side of the running back is the side the running back is on determines alignment for the V and the T. Does the depth of the running back determine anything for you? Example, deep behind the quarterback versus in front of the quarterback.
Not, it could, but anymore, the depth of the back, offensive guys have wised up to us defensive guys, and the depth of the back, if they let's say the back is deep behind the quarterback. A lot of teams will see, well, they're going to run pin and pull and outside zone off that same back. They're just going to adjust with the quarterback's footwork. He changes his footwork. When I was a head coach, we would run outside zone and pin and pull by reversing out with the running back behind us. So if they give us a tip, yes, okay, and if you can get a tip by the depth of the back, then absolutely. But whether he is level 2, okay, behind the quarterback, or 1 in front of the quarterback, you're probably, if the back is crossing, if the run is front side, you're probably getting some type of double, whether it's inside zone or outside zone. Okay. Now, obviously, the technique of the offensive linemen are different, but if the back's away from me and you are getting front side run game, a 4 technique helps you. It gives you it eliminates the angle from the offensive tackle. Okay. That's just my 2 cents there. Now, we play a lot of double 4-eyes, and you'll see this on film, and a lot of double 4-eyes.
And the other question here, Coach, was the initial depth of your inside backers.
We are 5 yards. Okay. We're at 5 yards. We want to hold our depth and align with our heels at 5 yards. I know some guys say 4. We were a little bit tighter when we were even spacing and we were gap fitting. But since we went to the odd front, we're going to play at 5. So that way we can work laterally, hold our depth, and force the doubles to come off and try to get the combo blocker that works off, working to the second level and working up to block us. So we're at 5. So I'll go ahead and draw this. So the linebacker to where the zone is going, okay. All right, we're saying they're going to target us like this. Now he's going to work to stack, all right, just like the other. So both our linebackers should look like mirror images of each other initially, all right. his fit, okay, inside zone, okay, the ball stays inside. His fit is going to be A gap to overlap or A gap to C gap. He's going to end up, if the ball winds all the way back, and I'll show you a cut up of it from the state championship game a couple years ago. As the ball winds back, he's going to wind back with it. If the ball's not being ran in the A gap, don't be in the A gap. Don't block yourself, right? We want as many defenders at where the ball is being ran to as possible. That's a huge thing that I learned when we went to the odd front is, don't run through a gap where the ball's not being ran, specifically talking about inside zone. So that's why we fit off the flow or off the ball with our linebackers. So we say we're going to stack, track, fall back. And as we fall back, we're falling back thinking A gap to overlap. Okay. Because again, our other linebacker has fit tight off the 4 technique. So again, you can see, and we use this coaching point and gap scheme. We're building a wall here, right? So if we get, like veer downhill, okay, and we get the long mesh by the quarterback, all right, and he pulls it, all right, our 4-eye is going to be inside. Our fallback backer, the backer away from the flow from the running back, he's going to fall back tight off that 4, and he would tackle the running back, okay? This guy, all right, as he fell back with the ball staying on this side of the center, he's going to fall back, all right, and he would end up overlapping and end up being the quarterback player. So it allows us to keep this guy out of the run fit, and you don't have to say, hey, you're a half quarterback player, which our guy will fall in, but we're not using him primarily in the run fit, okay, with the back to him. All right, so now let's talk gap scheme real quick. So stack, track, fall back, inside zone. We're going to ball fit. We're going to fit off the flow. Okay, we're going to fit flow. When we get into gap scheme, we get into pulls, okay? We're going to spill and overlap, okay? So our rule, all right, and I'll just drop one back power here to the tight end, all right? Again, this is another reason you're getting power away from the back. Now it eliminates that angle that makes it a more difficult block for that offensive tackle, okay? All right, double the nose. All right, doesn't matter if this was the tackle, all right, or the guard pulling, all right? So if I am a linebacker, I'm an inside linebacker, and I get a pull to me, all right, our coaching point is we are going to chase the 4-eye. We're going to chase the end, and we're going to spill, okay? We're going to fit tight. We're going to be able to touch that 4-eye's hip, all right, and we're going to start building a wall. We're a brick in the wall, all right? We're the second brick. The 4 is the first one. The front side linebacker is the second one, all right? The third one is going to be this linebacker right here, okay? As long as the ball stays front side, okay? If, let's say we're playing double 4s and our 4 got cut off, all right? Guard pulls, okay, and that ball winds back, okay? So again, I said our mechanics, our fit mechanics for gap scheme are spill and overlap, okay? This guy's going to overlap. He's going to chase the front side linebacker's hip. He's going to chase and spill, all right? But if they only pull 1, you only need 2, all right? And so in this formation, our safety would fit outside. So if we get a pull, chase and spill, okay, we're going to spill the pull. He's going to lever the pull or fit outside the pull. We've got enough guys to be gap sound. If this guy's still going to overlap unless the ball winds back. This guy gets cut off, okay? All right, the ball winds back. We're going to wind back with the ball. We're going to track the ball. So the backside linebacker's got to track the ball. He's got a lateral run, keep his shoulder square, so if the ball does hit out the back door, he can roll back with it, all right, and make the tackle.
Coach, got a question here.
Yes, sir.
How do you adjust your alignment to tight end trips?
We will, if it's wide trips, it depends on what our coverage is. If we're going to stay in odd space too high, then we would boss to the tight end. All right. So let's I'll draw it up here. Let's imagine this is wide trips. Okay. If we're going to stay in too high, odd space, okay, then we're going to boss our backers. Okay. He would go to a 0-ish, depending on the back set. This guy would go to a 50. So any too high coverage. So let's just say quarters, for example. Our buck, which is everybody else's Mike linebacker, his rule in too high defense, okay, is from an alignment standpoint, is you're going to apex 3 in the tackle. So unless we have a trips check, which keeps him in a 20, okay, this guy's off the ball, obviously. His rule is apex the tackle in number 3. So it could be 3 detached, okay? It doesn't matter. He's going to go out and he's going to apex. He becomes the apex defender. He becomes like the dog. So he's in or out of the fit based on the back, okay, whether he's to him or away from him, all right? If it's Y trips, okay, all right, if it's Y trips, his alignment doesn't change. Apex the tackle in number 3, all right, in too high defense, okay? So it puts him here. We're going to boss to around a 0, okay, depending upon the back set and how we're going to fit it. Don't like to stay in that very much. We want to change our coverage or get in a different, like we can slide the front. If we tag slide to that, we can get into a form of special versus that. So we have a harder edge because that's not to go down a rabbit hole here, but that formation is popular. That's a formation people like to get in to versus odd defense, odd too high, because they know now we've got a soft edge. I've got an apex backer here, okay, and a 4 or 4-eye. And so, outside zone and pin and pull look very promising there. So for us, we want to do something to create a hard edge. So we're going to move our dog linebacker down as a 9 technique. Okay. We can slide the front and get into even spacing. All right. Versus a 3-man surface. So we don't usually like to stay in it versus that formation because there's some major disadvantages to it. All right. So I think I went through our zone and gap scheme rules. And again, if they ran GT counter, okay, our rules would be similar. How we played the 4-eye or 4 would be dependent upon who the quarterback is, whether we would chase or whether we would surf and stay and play the quarterback with that guy. So it all depends on really who the quarterback is and how you're wanting to fit on pulls. So I'm going to get to film as fast as I can here. All right. And get through as much as I can. Coach Justin, keep me on time. I know I'm bad about it. So you'll have to.
No, you're fine. You're fine, Coach. Yeah. Take your time, man. You're good.
So this is a form of Y trips. Okay. Yo. All right. We call seal. So it's pistol. All right. So it's 3x1 pistol. So this is an answer for us that we'll get into versus 2 back sets, where if we can match up with our corner here, a lot of times we're a big cone team. We like to bracket that X receiver on the single side. If we feel like though we can play one-on-one and we feel good about our matchups, then we like to play what we call deuce, and that just means now he's going to relate to the sniffer. Okay. So if the sniffer went here, okay, he's going to fit with the sniffer. Okay. You can, we have a call where we can pure man him, or we can call, we have a call where we can, if he's 3 to the flat, he's in the push. So our outside linebacker would become a 2-3 push, and he would push the next inside cut. All right. He would replace our buck or, everybody else's Mike linebacker. All right, so we're going to get inside zone weak, and we're going to get the wind back all the way back to the field. So this is a good example here of this guy holding his depth, and you can see him go A to all the way over here, okay? Now, here's kind of our footwork here, the question that was asked earlier. I don't like him going back. I want him just to pop his feet, okay? Just sit, pop your feet right here. But again, I know it's not RPO, it's pistol. So for us, pistol is like if we're getting, RPO flip, where they're throwing RPO away from the back. So, let's say it was 2x2, the apex defenders would not know if they were in or out of the fit until post snap. Okay. Because it's dependent upon, where the quarterback looks. 28 does a good job. He ends up making the tackle. All right. And you can see as he falls back, I'll pull up the end zone here. Okay. You can see him fall back off the 4, tight off the 4 right there. Okay. And again, it's a great example. All right. Of A to C with this guy. Okay. With 33 here. Great job being patient, holding his depth. Let me go all the way back to the top. You can see him roll back. 28 presses in the line of scrimmage, a little bit too much. I'd like to see him stay lateral, hold his depth. But that is, that's as they say, a clinic snap of stack track fallback. Okay, great rock back there by 33 and 28. All right, so now we're going to play a different technique with our 4 technique here. Okay, he's going to play knockback. All right, and then he's going to end up being the C gap defender on zone this way. All right, so our fallback now, instead of nesting outside the 4, okay, or the 4i, now we're going to fall back. All right, inside of him. Okay, we're going to fall back tight outside the guard and inside of the offensive tackle, and it's a good shot of it from the end zone here. Okay. It's a good job holding his depth, and you can see, okay, again, this is another example here. Coach Blankenship and those guys at Owasso do a great job offensively. He's even with the quarterback, the running back is, okay. We get mid zone and we get the dramatic cutback. So again, it's going to fit, we get mid zone, wide zone, and we get the, the cutback of an inside zone. Okay. We get the drastic cutback there. So the telltale was not, was not back depth with these guys. Frontside linebacker, again, this is teach tape on what not to do here at 28. Presses the line of scrimmage too much, okay? And by doing that, he blocks himself, okay? As opposed to 33, holding his depth, nice tight fallback. You can see how we're playing a different gap here with 67, okay? All right. And we'll do it out of a 4i too as well. I'll show you here in a minute. I'll show you a change up as well that we versus zone teams. That's really good. We'll see our nose guard just get more vertical. Good turn though. Okay, how he sits into the double. Great job of holding, not letting the center climb. But again, playing our 4 here, 67, messes with the offensive tackle, and understanding that that guy's a 4. We get zone this way. He's forced to win inside now. That offensive tackle can just wash him. So we want to be able to play different techniques and make sure the tackle doesn't always know that. Good example of a lag 4i there. All right, let me get to the end zone here. All right, so again, 33 here. You'll watch 21. 21 doesn't come off. 21 doesn't come off, but if 21 did come off to block him, he should fit underneath him. Okay, so as he falls back, he should fit under 21 here, all right, in this gap. All right, and then we're in that same deuce coverage. The safety's going to fit outside of him. Okay, you can see front side here. All right, there's not much fallback. All right, or excuse me, there's not much stack. All right, because the path of the back is really downhill. Okay, these guys did not run a front side zone. They were really going to hit the zone downhill. All right, so you can see 40 with not much fallback. Okay, he's A gap. all right, to C, to over with 33. All right, another good example here. 33 is really good at tempo on the ball. All right, don't want to see him turn his shoulders. All right, but a good fallback. All right, good tempo. Now just fall back and shuffle. Stay square. Okay, don't turn your shoulders. All right, get to the end zone shot here again. Okay, don't like our 4-eye here. All right, to the boundary. Okay, he should here we're playing lag 4 eyes. A, his alignment's terrible. He's more like a 3. He should be splitting the crotch here. This guy's alignment's much better. He's splitting the crotch at 55. Okay. As we get out here, okay, we should step. If we're keying the tackle, we should step. Now all of a sudden we get out, okay, then we should step back and play the outside shoulder of the guard here. 75 does a poor job of it. It is a good picture of 33, okay? 33 doesn't fall back here, okay? The ball stays front side. He stays front side with it. Almost too much lateral there by 40, okay? Should be shuffle, ball staying front side. Let's punch it now because the ball's not going to wind back. Read the ball, okay? The ball is not going to wind back. The ball stay in that gap. Trigger and fit it. It's a good job by 33, though. Good tempo on the ball. All right, so now this is a changeup. So now we're playing, okay, base 4-eye, okay? We're going to key. Our attack key, like I said, is the offensive tackle. Our visual key is going to be the outside shoulder of the guard. When we're playing lag, okay, now our visual key and our attack key is the offensive tackle. All right. So in this, we're gonna play if he targets me, all right, I'm gonna play knock back on him, and I'm gonna end up playing through his back half. Okay, I'm gonna end up playing through the backside of the offensive tackle. So in essence, I'm the C gap player. All right. We're snap blitzing the linebacker here. All right. So we're blitzing this guy through the face of the guard. All right. We're blitzing him through the face of the guard. Everybody else is playing the same technique. This tackle, again, should be visually keying this guy, and that's his attack key. All right. This guy's playing stack track fallback. So nothing changes for 40. All right. We're snap blitzing 33. We're playing lag all the way across. Okay. With our defensive line in this. All right. So this is a good change up to zone read. All right. Now, one thing, if we did get arc, okay, just to screw up the ID a little bit. All right. So now, because in base, that guy blocked down, he would be surfing, taking first threat, right? This guy would be stepping and falling back outside the 4. All right. Well, in this technique now, okay, this guy steps out, I'm stepping out too. Okay. We're going to give because if they arc us, okay, what read are we giving them? We're giving them a give read, right? So now when we're playing this technique and we're snap blitzing the linebacker, all right, they're going to give the zone into a blitzing linebacker, all right? And you'll see 33 do a good job here of timing it up. Good job by 97. But you can see the snap blitz here. You can see 67 work out. I like to see him work through that tackle more, okay? All right. At this point in the game, we've done this a few times. So the offensive tackle, instead of trying to work all the way around, he works under when he sees us, when he sees the 4-eye play out. So this guy should really be working thick through him, okay, knocking him back and then playing through his backside half. But this is a good changeup because we do play so lateral with our linebackers that this is a great changeup to snap blitz one of them and play lag with your front. All right, so this is the same thing here now. Our sophomore linebacker doesn't fit it very well. Okay, thank goodness for 75, or excuse me, thank goodness for 33 here on the snap blitz. Again, we're playing the same thing over here. Okay, we're playing lag. We're going to play knockback. If he arcs us, then we're going to step out with it. We're blitzing the face of the guard. All right, with him. Again, you can see you're glad the third 24 is completely wrong. Okay, the other linebacker completely wrong in his fit. Thank goodness for 67 here, actually. Being able to play both of his gaps. Really nice play by AJ, but the snap blitz is the one that makes the play. So again, 24 should be working to stack, falling back. Okay, snap blitz is going to play the zone. All right. The other thing it's really good for is RPO. So if they threw RPO out here, this guy, I mean, he can really, I mean, he has nowhere to go on the zone RPO. He can sit and play RPO stick, RPO bubble. And it also, you can play some different coverages. You want to play your robber coverage out there or your bracket coverage. You can and feel good about not having to fit either the safety or the apex backer or our dog. Okay, the star nickel. All right, I'll show one more here, and then we'll get to some gap scheme here. Okay, this is a good picture of it. See there, 55 is trying to arc 44 here. Okay, so he's trying to arc to 33. We kind of screw up their target here by how we're playing it. Okay, snap blitzing 33 and playing the 4-eye into the arc of the tackle. So we're giving them a give read. Okay, all right, and they're giving it into a blitzing linebacker. So that's a good change up. Pretty simple. It's not very expensive. It's a lot of profit to that little change up there. Now let me show you. This is, and I can show you our end zone shot, but when I was at Mustang, shot from Morris here. We're going to get zone this way so you can see our linebackers. We're going to play fast, or what we call push, with our nose guard. So our nose guard is going to play two gap. Okay, where he gets a reach, he's going to play front side. He's going to allow the double, all right, to push him front side. And let me go back to the tight shot, because the tight shot is much better. Okay, all right. So it's going to be zone coming at us. Number 47 should have probably filed charges against us for making him take on both those guys. Didn't get hurt on that snap, surprisingly, but you can see you can see 99 play front side. Okay, he's playing front side. So now we're playing a different gap without having to move. We're playing a different gap by playing technique. Good fallback here by 44 on the left. Again, you can see us. All right, we were too much downhill. All right, initially, you can see now the Jinx film. The difference between our Jinx film and this film here is, how much better our inside linebackers hold their depth. We'll watch the end zone shot here. Okay, so again, you can see how the double team pushes 99 into the front side gap. All right, so now 45. As he falls back, instead of thinking A gap front side, he's going to think backside A gap to over. But in reality, if this 4-eye does his job, okay, he's going to end up playing the A and the B gap. So the 45's fallback should be over 44, so long as the 4-eye on the backside does his job. But we still tell him, hey, fall back. Instead of as you fall back to the backside A gap. Okay, to see instead of the front side. All right, same thing. Let me get to gap scheme here. Okay, spill overlap. Okay, so our mechanics versus gap scheme are going to be spill overlap. All right, so. All right, we're getting counter 8. So getting GH counter. So we're getting counter here. So again, the front side linebacker pull, okay, pull to me, chase the 4-eye, okay, and spill. All right. The backside linebacker, overlap, chase his hip and spill. All right. And then we're going to roll the thing all the way outside to this guy. So now we can keep this guy out of the run fit. All right, good shot of it from the end zone if we can get the goalpost from staying in our way. Good tight fit. Okay, he spills the first guy that targets him. All right, and you can see 40. All right, working overlap, working over the top. Like to see him a little bit tighter on 33. Because the issue that can happen is if the overlap player gets too wide, the front side guy is going to spill it, and it creases us vertically. All right, another good picture of it here. Nice tight fit by 33. Get to the end zone here. Okay, so again, we're going to get same side power. All right. Getting same side power into the boundary. 44 does a really nice job. Really good technique. Tight fit there by 33, and you can see the overlap player is working, but because of the way we're fitting, our safety ends up being the free player here. Get power out of pistol. A little bit closer, so it should be a clean shot of it. Again, tight fit. Okay, good job by 44 too. Working back into it. Good technique. 33's tight. All right, and you can see how the overlap player keeps his shoulder square. It's really good. Really good keeping your shoulder square. Staying lateral and not turning your shoulders and crossover run. Probably with the back shot here, we'll probably have a better angle here, the spill overlap. Again, we get counter. Now here's bad, right? The front side linebacker should be right off of 75's hip. Okay, the first two snaps, he's done a great job of being nice and tight. Now there's a seam. Okay, and now this guy is going to work over, but 40. Hopefully, if he's smart, we'll make him right. But we don't say make him right. 33's got to do his job. 33's got to be tight, build a wall, be right off of 75's hip, be able to touch him. So now we can work 40 over. But we're not real big on saying make him right. We're real big on do your job and fit where you're supposed to. But you can see the overlap there by 40. Good job staying square. It's nice. 33 is just too wide. Justin, I've got one more.
Yeah, you're good, Coach.
Let me get, I thought it was on there, but it apparently didn't drag over. All right, this is a really good shot of it because the camera angle is really good. So again, we're going to get same side power, RPO. Okay, up top, they're throwing the bubble. So they're throwing off our apex defender. This is a really good picture of it. Back to me, I'm out of the fit. Okay, I'm hold. I'm not primary in the fit. And because of how we're fitting, they target this guy who's actually not in the fit. So they're pulling two. We've got 1, 2, 3. And in reality, because of how they're targeting, we really only need the spill and overlap player. Okay, but we're gonna have an extra guy with this deuce coverage that we're running. Good tight fit, overlap. Now you'll see 33 is a little wide here. 28's really good, nice and tight, and you can see 33. This is from 2019, so you could see the improvement that 33 made in his run fits. He's too wide here as the overlap player. He's got to stay right there, right off his hip, and not be so wide because, again, the ball is going to crease us, okay, if we're too wide. All right, and because we have the deuce safety there, we end up being okay. But if 11's not there, we've got, because of how wide 33 is, we've got some issues. But you can see we just keep the ball rolling off the table, okay? First brick, second brick, and then the third brick's the overlap player. appreciate you guys listening. Justin, I appreciate you having me on, man. I don't know what time it is. We got time for questions or whatever. I don't know if
Yeah,
anybody.
absolutely. No, we definitely have time for questions. Obviously, we were able to field some during the presentation, but if you guys have anything, drop it in the chat right now. While they're doing that, Coach, would you mind sharing your contact information if anybody wanted to follow up with you on the
You
side
bet.
and just ask you
You
stuff?
bet. I think it's on. Well, maybe not. Yeah, I'll say it and I'll put it in the chat too. It is Coach Adam Gaylor on Twitter. So it's at Coach Adam Gaylor. And then my email is adam.gaylor@jinxps.org.
Did you see that? Are you able to see the chat? You see the question?
Yeah, I got it now. When you have 4 eyes playing the C gap, do you read the offensive tackle upfield shoulder? We read, it depends on, because we have a technique where we can play lateral, we can play mirror, what we call mirror. Hi, Coach Kellens, I see you on there. We can play mirror or we can play attack react, where we're getting into the offensive lineman. So what's going to happen is that initially we're going to read the knee or the shoulder that we're aligned on with the 4 eye. As that guy blocks us and he steps down to block us, then it's going to be, is that guy trying to cut me off? If he's trying to cut me off, then I'm going to work through that guy's backside half. So generically, initially, it's the inside shoulder or knee, depending on if they're in a 3-point or 2-point stance of the offensive tackle.
I was muted. Any other coaches have questions? Obviously, Coach shared his, and he just typed it in the chat, his emails, and then put his Twitter in there. So if you guys have any follow-up questions or want to talk some ball, I'm sure he'd be more than willing to. Obviously, he was able to come out here and spend some time with us this morning. Another great presentation, Coach. Really appreciate you taking the time out and schooling us up, man. I know I got a lot out of it. I'm sure the rest of the coaches did as well. You're doing a tremendous job over at Jinx, man, and just really appreciative having you on here, man.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you having me on, man. You do a great job. Keep it up. You got a guy from North Carolina coming on after me, so I'm sure there'll be the double amount of people in there because that'll be good stuff to listen to. But Justin, thanks for having me on, man. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, and absolutely, Coach. And Coach, I'm gonna message you after this. I want to run something else by you, but really, thanks again to not only Coach Gaylor, but for the rest of the coaches for taking their time out of their morning to come in and learn and chop it up and talk some ball with us. So appreciate that. We're back on at 1 o'clock with some outside linebacker talk, and let's have another great day, man. Appreciate all you guys, and we'll see you then.